Hey guys, today is Saturday, June 30th, and I am 8 weeks post-op with erection device rod and testicular implants. Thursday I went up to San Francisco and saw Dr. Chain for a 8-week post-op appointment because I was concerned about the rod popping out of place from the base. When I saw Dr. Crane the next day after surgery, he felt that it might have, but I didn't have any of the symptoms that showed it. Pain. He thought maybe it was just the skin he was feeling. So he told me to wait until 8 weeks because the material they put around the rod is the kind that they get the body to adhere to the rod, and it takes a full 8 weeks to do that before he can do anything else. And I said okay. So I made the appointment knowing that everything's been fine, but I just needed to be reassured. And so my wife and I went up there, and he said that he felt around and moved, and he said, no, it's not out of place. He goes, you haven't popped it out. He goes, you've had no pain? I said, no. He says, you've got a little play here. He goes, but it's not popped out of place. And I said, okay. So I asked him a few questions. I asked him about the noise, because when I bend my penis, you can hear the joints kind of, not popping sound, but they just kind of move. And he said that's totally natural. And he showed me that when he bent it, he goes, that's normal. That's not the popping sound I'm talking about. And I said, okay. Then I asked him told him that I was having some issues, personal issues with underwear. And he started laughing. He says, yeah. And he goes, the one underwear that I have been told by the ALT guys who have a longer penis, that the UFM underwear are godsend. And I said, yeah, I've looked at those. I just wanted to wait until the aftermath to see if I even needed those. And I said, I like the brief jockeys I've got because they let me sweat and stuff, and they let my body breathe. I said, but they don't have a tightness at the leg, the thigh, at my leg, where it goes down to my leg, so my phallus drops down to the side. And I said, I just feel like it just makes me feel uncomfortable. I said, Tony thinks it looks perfectly normal and I should be okay with it. He goes, no, it's normal. He goes, there's a lot of guys who just hang down to the side. He said, there's a lot of my ALT guys hang down to the side. And so I said, okay. But for me, I think the reason why it makes me feel weird is because, for one, I have no feeling except for where the nerve is. And so my penis is just warm. It's always been real warm, good blood flow. And so I feel that heat, and it just doesn't feel right to me. If it was like, just like women have breasts and they hang down, they don't really get bothered by it. They don't feel it. They're used to it. And I think because we're not raised with it, we didn't grow as it grew, getting used to that feeling and where it hangs and stuff. I think we're just more conscious of it, and probably we cause more stress than is needed, but it's just something I do. I know, talking for me. But regular jockeys, briefs, have been holding it up just fine, but then I sweat, so the legs stick, and I don't like that. So I'm probably going to order some UFMs and just get over it. But then I asked him about hanging it straight down over the scrotum, and I thought my scrotum would be bigger and kind of push, like I said. Instead of hanging clear down like this, I thought my scrotum would be fuller and keep me away from the legs. It does, but because I hang so low, I'm still kind of not between the legs, but I still can feel him, and he slides over to the side because I'm not real. I'm medium, so I'm not real huge there. But that was what was talked about, the phallus. Now, he looked at my scrotum, and the folds that I have are right of the bait. Here's the penis, and my scrotum. Just remember the penis is up here. My scrotum kind of. There's the penis. Kind of, is like this. Well, right at the base of the penis here is where the folds of skin are. If you pinch those folds and lift them up, it looks like bat wings. The scrotum would look perfect. So that's why I wanted him just to cut that skin off and put an incision there. I don't care about the scar. He said he didn't feel safe doing it in the office just because of bacteria and stuff. And then when he looked at it, he says, plus I really need you spread out so that he has to do not just cut it off and sew it. He has to do a V and all this stuff. So I said, okay. I said, what are we going to... He goes, I need to do it in the OR. And I said, okay, wait a minute. Why do I have to go under for this? And he goes, well, I could at least sedate you. I said, here's the thing. I'm not going to ask anybody else to come up here with me and stay in the hotel. I've burned my sister and probably my mom would do it, but she don't drive in this area. But I burned my sister out. She does not like San Francisco at all. And she freaked out last time we were here when she was driving. So I said, I want to be able to come up, you do the procedure, and I drive home. He said, okay, I get that. We can work with that. So that was what was said about that. Now, the reason why I have 2 folds of skin is because the original scars collapsed. And when they collapse, it kind of like, it's almost like when you pull something, well, like a plastic bag, the seam, when you pull it apart, it kind of opens up. Well, the excess skin after the swelling just fell over. So that's the reason why I have those issues. Not only that, is it causes dysphoria for me, because when I look at myself naked, even just getting in the shower, not lifting anything up, checking it out, you can see it on each side. And it reminds me of lips. It reminds me of female lips. And I don't want anything to remind me of female. So I will do what I have to do to get that corrected. So that's what he said about that. So he told me in about a couple weeks he'll get my scheduler to call me, and he's going to do it in the surgery center right there and get that done, taken care of. We did talk about maybe trying to do a lift on my penis a little bit more, because I hang so much lower. But he said, really, you don't have a mom's section here for you to, he goes, you don't have anything here. It's from your losing your weight and your skin hanging down. It's causing the skin to drop from losing weight is what it is. He says, now I will need the OR for that. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, the scrotum is priority. Just document all this so that if down the road it becomes a situation where I need it lifted, that you've already suggested it and I've just put it off, that I need to take a break from surgeries. And he said, okay. So, we talked a little bit about just in general what he's done for us, and thanking him to have the dedication to learn and want to do this for us, so that Dr. Crane can be freed up to train more people and to go live where he wants to live and stuff. He goes, yeah, but he's still the boss. I said, yeah, he'll always be the boss. I said, but he's a good guy to work with and a good guy to work for, and he agreed. So I know he's really had his bout with office staff changes and the Bunkie Clinic lately. But the good people always prevail. Even in the midst of a storm, there is shields being built for them and will be available in the time of need. So, it's like Dr. Chen told me. When he was going to school to become a surgeon, he had a doctor tell him, if you expect to have no complications, then you're in the wrong field. And he's absolutely right, because it's just not on the doctors why things happen why they come out. They do the same technique as they always do. It's repetitious for them. And a lot of time, well, not a lot, but there's times they go in there and they see a totally different situation than what you can see on the outside, on the inside. So, you know, you choose your doctors to their skills, but you also have to work with them. You also have to, when you make this decision to take from a part of your body and have a doctor who's skilled to put it and attach it to another part of your body, number one chance is losing it, because sometimes your body just doesn't take it for whatever reasons. The only suggestion that I can give you when you're doing all your research of what kind of surgeon you want, what kind of erection devices you want, what kind of material you want in your body, where you want the donor site to be, just remember this. While you're doing all this research, also ask yourself, are you totally prepared mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually? And I say spiritually in there because that's our balance. That's our faith. That's what keeps us calm in the storm. So if you suffer from any kind of chronic inflammatory autoimmune disease, take into consideration that your body's full of inflammation, and what can you do for it? What can you do about that? Not just medications. Are you a processed food eater? Do you eat out all the time? Do you eat hamburgers and fries and go to Taco Bell? And do you eat fast food all the time? Or do you cook for yourself, but it's about warming up a pizza in a microwave, or warming up pre-made dinners in a microwave? All that stuff has preservatives and stuff that can trigger inflammation in your body. So my suggestion to you, if you really want to have a successful, as far as you being prepared when you go into surgery, do your best to get your body in a place where it can, when it gets alarmed that something's being changed, that the right signals can go to the right place. And that, what I mean by that is, like, we need to signal blood flow to come down. We need to signal, and get this thing going. It's as simple as adding a salad every day. Add a salad with everything you like on it. Don't cook your vegetables, but if you eat live food, if you go to a juicing place and you have the money to order some juices, drink a juice a day. I mean, what's the difference between a juice or a combo hamburger and fries? I'm just suggesting this because that's what I did. I have autoimmune disease. I have Hashimoto's. It's hypothyroidism. And I knew what Hashimoto's does to my body, and I prepared for it. But I also prepared my body to be healthy as I could. And I did that. I added salads. And Tony and I never ate a lot of processed foods, but we did eat out. We treated ourselves, but we cut that down. I cut out flour. We cut out a lot of the milk. We just eat cheese now. I drink almond milk, coconut water. I added a lot of things to my diet, a lot of fruits and vegetables, and we juice our vegetables raw, and I eat salads. Every day I have a big salad. So I prepared myself, and I also prepared myself as a human being. If I had any depression, or if I had any clouds, if I had any bad relationships with family or friends, what I did is I said, you know what, in my personal space, I'm protecting myself. And if I have control of what I do, what I say, how I react. So if something's coming at me and it's not good, I did my best not to react. I just let it go. And those people I love my family, but if they're not healthy for me, I don't spend a long time with them. So you have to choose. And so that's the only advice I could give you going through this and not having any complications. And my faith is great. I'm balanced spiritually. And so that's what I can say, guys. Take it one day at a time, and always make your journey as simple as possible. We'll talk to you later. Bye.